How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks. We focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI and Polestar. They saw a good amount of selling pressure on the Friday. We saw this in the entire market. So I know many people want to know, what are the levels that I see going into next week? Are we going to be making a move to the upside, or are we going to be making a move to the downside? I will be covering that in the chart analysis, and then we're going to be taking a look at the short interest information. We know it does have an impact on these stocks, and I want to make sure you're prepared so you can formulate some sort of a game plan. And then when all of that is done, I'll be doing my final recap for both of these stocks, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on them. So let's get into those videos right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $6.62, being down 5.97%. On the low, it tested $6.52, and then on the high, testing $7.06. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 21.258 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 20.929 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, and we also seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, here's what I want to bring to your attention, especially the levels. So we ended up seeing closes above $7. We do know that $7 is a psychological area. On the Friday, we witnessed a strong sell-off. We ended up closing near the highs that we had on Monday and as well as for Tuesday. So that's why going into next week, we want to see if this support can hold right here around 650. If it doesn't hold, then I'm expecting for us to hold at least around 630 for SOFI to continue to look bullish. If it breaks through these levels, that's where I can see it going down to $6, and then we want to see what it would do from there. Would the bulls step in? Would they want to buy this up? If they don't do that, that's where we could start seeing SOFI get down to 573. So please add that to your notes. Another thing to pay attention to with these moving averages, you want to look at this purple line, which is the 50 EMA, and this has been an area of resistance for SOFI in the past. We could see it right over here on the 19th of May. We could see it on the 20th of May. Did not spend a lot of time up there whatsoever. And then we could see that we were trying to make attempts to actually get above it, and it didn't happen. And this was on the 27th, as well as for the 31st, and as well as for June the 1st. So can the 50 EMA turn out to be resistance again? There's a strong possibility for this, but if we could use it as support, that's what I was saying, SOFI can make that move to the upside. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. So green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 22nd, we have Bank Julius Baer that purchased 805 shares. We also have a closed position here. And then we have Spire Wealth Management that purchased 68,554 shares. And that's all we have for the 22nd. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 35.38%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.82 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 7.1 million, updated 15 minutes ago. And then for the short vol fee rate, it is at 1.75%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 21st, it was at 33.76. And then for the close of the 22nd, being at 35.38. So it's gone up a bit. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float, it's at 17.85%. So SOFI does have short squeeze potential. So we're going to take a look at the chart for Polestar. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $8.91, being down 6.80%. On the low, it tested $8.90, and then on the high, testing $9.53. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 3.017 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 2.471 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, but you could see we had a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, here are some things that I want to bring to your attention. We are trading below all of our major moving averages, and this is not a great sign whatsoever. But one thing that is very interesting, though, we ended up testing the low at $8.90. Hey, we actually closed around $8.91, so not far off whatsoever. So going into next week, can Polestar bounce off of this level? We tested this area back here on the 5th of July before we started having some momentum. So I'd want to see if the bulls would want to step in and bring this price up further. If they do not, then there's a good chance we could go back to visiting the 52-week lows, which is around 853, or we could have another test here right around the 860s. This is if bulls do not step up. If they don't come in at the 860s, then there's a good chance that Polestar will make another 52-week low, so you want to add that to your notes. As far as seeing some strength inside of the stock, then we need to see it get above the high of the day, which was at 953. If it's able to do this, then it can gain momentum above the 9 EMA, and then you'd want to see it get to the 50, which is around $9.80. And upon getting to $9.80, of course, we want to make sure it could hold up around $10, which is a psychological area for this play and an area to watch, because holding $10 and consolidating, we know the next move to come would be right here at 1063 before it starts seeing some resistance. But in my personal opinion, and just taking a look at the overall chart, if we don't get a bounce, it's going to be a further move to the downside. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Polestar. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings, you can see here for July the 21st, we have Belvedere Trading LLC that purchased calls with a value of 49,200 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 52.47%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is at 871,998 shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 4,000, updated 17 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 121.59%. And when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 21st, it was at 49.91, and then for the close of the 22nd, being at 52.47. So it is going up. So from the stats that we just went over, it looks like Polestar does continue to have short squeeze potential. So to give you guys my final recap for both of these stocks, let's first start off with SOFI. It is very crucial for this stock to hold at least above $6.30. It was able to hold $6.50 fairly well on Friday, but going down to $6.30 and breaking below that level, that's where it could start looking very weak. So please add that to your notes. As far as for the reversal, we want to see it get back above $7. If it can do this, then we can look for that short-term price target that I mentioned around $7.47 and seeing if it can make a move to $8. Of course, this is going to be dependent on the market conditions, but at least if there's a lot of selling pressure, you know how to take advantage of the downside. And in regards to Polestar, the chart is looking very bearish. It is trading below all of our major moving averages, and we need to see a bounce. If we don't see a bounce around $8.90 and especially $9, it can continue to sell off and then test a 52-week low around $8.53. And if buyers don't show up here, then of course it's going to form a new low, and I could see it getting down to $8 if this does occur. So I want to make sure you're prepared if that happens, and if you want to take advantage of trading opportunities so you can actually make some money off of the move, by all means go ahead and do that. But of course, this is not financial advice. If you're looking for a bullish move to the upside, Polestar needs to reclaim $10. At the bare minimum, getting back to at least $9.50, making that move to 10, then getting to $10.61, and then seeing if we can make that push to $11. All those levels is what you want to watch. If it can't reach those levels and we continue to have selling pressure inside of the markets, that's why I said the worst case scenario can happen. And then as far as for what we need to look out for this coming week, we have the Fed meeting, and we also have big tech earnings along with GDP numbers that are going to be coming out. So yes, there's going to be a lot of volatility. But if we have strong numbers coming from big tech, so that's taking into consideration Microsoft, also Meta, Apple, Amazon, this will help the market pick up some steam. And if Polestar can't follow along with that, then you know, as far as demand is concerned, it's just not there in the market for this stock. Does that mean that the company's not worth investing in? Not necessarily. You need to do your homework and do your due diligence and find out if it would be the right pick for you. I want to make sure I emphasize this, but at the same time, I do feel as far as the sell-off that we are seeing, you should not be surprised. But you know what? There is a light at the end of the tunnel for Polestar, and the main reason behind that, it does have short squeeze potential. It has high short borrow fees, so there's a lot of shorts vested in this play. So they put out any sort of news or we get some sort of a squeeze, it can move very quickly. You've seen this happen in the past, so that's why you want to keep this on your radar. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's see how these stocks perform for the coming week. We'll talk soon.